legends of the powerful Mu Empire echo through this weathered island chain. Precise stone carvings and megalithic platforms provide clues to possible connections to pre-Diluvian sites across the planet. Off the coast of Japan, the discovery of Yonaguni Monument in 1987 shocked the archaeological world. This massive monument measures roughly 165 feet long and 65 feet wide. The current in the water surrounding the monument is extremely powerful, making the site very challenging for divers to study. Could this submerged structure be remnants of the pre-Diluvian Mu Empire before the end of the world?
The recent discovery of megalithic blocks submerged off the coast of Japan further suggests that there was an extensive complex of civilization that existed before the deluge, before the flood, before the sea levels rose to the level that they are today. And if that is the case, it means we're talking Ice Age civilizations, a time that traditional history is reluctant to acknowledge, and a civilization that traditional historians are reluctant to acknowledge. The evidence up until recently has been called anomalous. So when discoveries are made, such as the Gulf of Combat or the megalithic blocks off the coast of Japan, when they're found and they don't fit into the story, they're put into a pile that is called an anomaly, and they say, we'll come back and study them later. What's happening right now is that the anomalies are so great that they're telling their own story. Japan is a big part of this. The stones that we see submerged off the coast of Japan, the precision of the way these stones were created is reminiscent of what we see in places like Tiwanaku and even the Giza Plateau in Egypt. When you talk about the smoothness, just the way it is inside the Great Pyramid, over a 20-foot area, less than 1/1000th of an inch deviance, that is the sign of remarkable workmanship and of craftsmanship using tools that we have today. Where did those kinds of tools come from, and how did the people in the Pleistocene create something like that? And if these stone blocks date to the age that the evidence suggests, this is precisely what we're talking about. That there was the technologically advanced civilization just off the coast of Japan when the sea levels were lower, and when those sea levels rose at the end of the Younger Dryas, the city was inundated. And I think we owe it to ourselves to understand what these cities are, who the people were, what it means to us in our past to help us understand our relationship to the world today and even our future.
Wherever you go around Japan, you get the sense that something much older is going on than is publicly accepted. All you have to do is look at the foundation of, for example, the Imperial Palace or the major temple in Osaka. And even if you go a little bit further south of Japan, underwater, the steps that form this platform called Yonaguni, which actually happened to mark the exact position of the Tropic of Cancer, where it was back in 12,000 BC. And of course, it's been submerged since then.
In the Kansai region, roughly in the center of the main island of Japan, Osaka Castle is a site built of massive polygonal cyclopean blocks that resemble similar stones in Peru, Bolivia, and Egypt. The massive platform, which was built long before, serves as the foundation for the castle, resembling the ancient platforms on Easter Island and in Tiwanaku, leaving more clues around the possible pre-Diluvian link between Japan and the ancient Mu Empire.
And so the fact is, we're finding this polygonal cyclopean style in Japan, just like we find partly on Easter Island, in Peru and Bolivia, in ancient Egypt, and many other places. So what is going on here? Is this proof of an advanced ancient civilization on a global scale? One of the most interesting sites in Japan, to me, is Osaka Castle. Now, this is one of these sites that has these massive cyclopean blocks, precision carved, polygonal masonry involved with it as well. One of the stones weighs up to something like 800 tons, absolutely huge, some of them. The other thing about Osaka Castle, there's extreme weathering and kind of damage on many of the stones, suggesting it is actually much older than when the castle was claimed to have been built. Now, this is intriguing because polygonal style, the kind of cyclopean construction where the jigsaw stones are placed together, has been proved to work really well in earthquake zones where they just don't fall down when earthquakes occur. And we know this area is an earthquake zone. And so potentially it could have been standing for like thousands of years. You know, and can we also speculate that there's some other strange features on the stones that appear to be vitrification, like they're being superheated by some kind of cataclysm. Therefore, could they be even 12,000 years old? Could they have been witness to the Younger Dryas impact event that decimated the planet this long ago?